Well, good morning. Good to be with you.
As I understand, more than 50 Vermont towns voted on this amendment, and something like 23 at least passed it. Tell me what you know about the results this morning.
No, we think that about 60 towns were voting on it. We know that 55 passed it.
Wow.
We don't know the results from some other towns.
Okay, so then we have in about 30 states challenges to this Citizens United ruling, right? But thought is this could be a long and drawn-out process. Tell me how what happened last night you think fits into your overall objective.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the people of Vermont, and in fact the people of America, are totally disgusted with what they're seeing in terms of the huge amounts of money that billionaires and corporations are now throwing into the political process. Look, honest people have honest disagreements about policy, but very few people, whether you're a progressive like me or a conservative, think that it's appropriate in this democratic society where people fought and died to maintain our democracy to see a handful of billionaires say, oh, we're going to give Gingrich $10 million, we're going to give Romney this amount of money, we're going to give Santorum. We are evolving, Chris, into a situation where you're going to have corporations deciding who will be our president, who will be our senators and members of the House, because they will be able to pour in unlimited sums of money into campaign ads. And I do not believe in Vermont or around this country that that is what the American people want. And I think people are united that we need to overturn this disastrous Citizens United decision that said, quite amazingly, a corporation is a person with unlimited First Amendment rights, can spend as much as they want on a campaign.
So what do you do about it? And what's your best way going forward, and how long might that take?
Well, I think ultimately we need a constitutional amendment. I have one. Tom Udall, New Mexico has another one. We need a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United. That will take us a while. You got to get through the House. You got to get through the Senate. You got to get 3/4 of the states. But I think short term, what we can do is pass some legislation which can significantly diminish the impact of Citizens United. For example, right now, somebody is a billionaire corporate leader. He can put as much money as he wants into a campaign. He can put ads on television, come up with some phony front group. Nobody knows who's paying for the ad. If you do something very simple and you say that that CEO has got to have his picture on that ad saying that I, the head CEO of this or that corporation, I approve this ad, just as any politician has to do, that in itself would go a long way to diminish these ads, because these guys do not want to be on TV showing the American.
What about Congressman Chris Van Hollen's bill that would require super PACs to disclose spending and the name of the person online? And I've actually talked to some of the super PAC contributors themselves who have said, the way to approach this is to do that.
I think that's important as well. But I think most importantly, short term, what we have to do is get this kind of money out of the political process. I think having a CEO's picture and name on the screen would be good. I think there are other short-term things that you can do. Long-term, we do need a constitutional amendment.
Were you disappointed when the president said that, look, we have to level the playing field, and he told his supporters to go ahead and contribute to super PACs?
I think he's in a very difficult position. I think what we have to do is kill. We have to undo the Citizens United. But if he's sitting there and the other side is prepared to spend hundreds of millions of dollars, look, Karl Rove right now, the Koch brothers, public information, they are prepared to spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And he could be a nice guy and say, hey, I think it's morally wrong, I'm not going to do it. I'm not so sure. But I think at the end of the day, this is a disastrous Supreme Court decision, and it has got to be overturned.
It's always good to have you on the program. Senator, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Senator Bernie Sanders. Wisconsin's